Okay, sweet. Now we're recording. All right. And now I gotta copy my stream key. Okay, sweet. Now we're streaming. Cool. So now we're live. And now we're streaming. And now Alex doesn't have to wait on me. So that's a plus.
This is ridiculous.
No, I'm sorry, please. Um hmm. Yeah, not sure what else to say other than welcome to our first episode of our podcast called Imperial Transmission, where it's me, William, and Alex.
Me.
That's him! And now you're muted. And now you're muted.
Give me 1 second.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I have returned.
The return of the king. The return of the king.
I'm glad I'm that important.
You're that important to me. I'm
Some
not.
things are just that important.
I'm not gonna sit here and talk to myself for an hour about Star Wars.
I mean,
I could, but that would be kind of boring. Who does that? Who does that?
a lot of people.
Actually, yeah, probably.
Um, I think solo podcast people do that, and also schizophrenics.
Yeah. Well,
How about that
schizophrenic.
Kenobi trailer?
Dude, I saw that dropped yesterday when I was at work, and I was like, I had a smile on that. I'm like, I haven't felt this way since Revenge of the Sith. I was like grinning ear to ear. I was like, holy shit! I was like, they hit all the marks on that, with just the music and everything, and then the Inquisitors, they look pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm
I
like,
think John
sorry.
John Williams. I don't think he's doing the whole soundtrack for the show. I heard that he did compose a new piece for it. He made like a theme a theme for Obi-Wan because apparently Obi-Wan never had his own like Star Wars theme. So John Williams came back briefly to compose that.
To make a theme for Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he never really has had his
To make a theme for
Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
His own theme. Yeah, I guess he never really has had his
To make a theme for Yeah.
the hell.
What do you think about how do you think the Inquisitors look? I've heard some
I think they look actually pretty decent. What is it? Excuse me. The Grand Inquisitor. His head looks like kind of like a little too short, but other than that, I mean, the rest of them they look like Inquisitors. Um, yeah. Obi-Wan, Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan. I know that's gonna be great. Oh, did you see they did release a photo today of Hayden in the Darth Vader costume? Did you see that picture?
I did not.
Yeah, they released it. I don't know if I can show it on like the. Maybe I can show it to you on Zoom at least. Uh, Let me see. I just gotta. Oh wait, no, I can't. I can't show it to you. Oh, that's all right. But yeah, if you look it up, it looks like a cool picture. I mean,
Is it
It's just Darth Vader standing there like in the shadows.
I think I have it here. Does he look like he's in sort of a
He looks like he's in
uh,
like a meditation chamber or back to tank chamber or something.
it looks almost like
The one from Rogue One.
the it looks almost like the operating room from Revenge of the Sith at the end. The
Oh yeah.
the circular panel in the middle reminds me of that.
I gotta relook at that. Yeah, it actually does. He has like 1 foot standing on the stair, and then like 1 foot kind of out in
Hard
front.
to see. It's very dark.
Yeah, but it looks freaking cool. I think what they're gonna do, from what I've heard, they're gonna do excuse me they're gonna do the Vader suit from Revenge of the Sith,
Hmm.
and then and I was thinking about that today because I'm like, so if they do the Vader suit from Revenge of the Sith, I mean, I guess it technically could make sense because the suit that they used for Rogue One was like almost identical to the suit that they used for A New Hope in the way that it looked like it kind of had the slightly glowing red eyes, the
Hmm.
lenses, and then his helmet kind of looked a little like janky, but I mean, other than that, it like he looked still looked good, but I don't know. I always got the feeling that the suit from Revenge of the Sith was like more like symmetrical and clean.
Yeah, in the original trilogy, or in A New Hope at least, the helmet kind of like points upward a little bit,
Yeah,
whereas in everything else, it's kind of just straight and symmetrical, like you said.
yeah,
You can see it in the stormtroopers too. It's kind of funny that not one of the stormtroopers' helmets is exactly the same. They're all kind of like a little wonky and different.
didn't they have to make almost all of those, or not almost, but didn't
Yeah,
they
they
have to
had to.
make them all by hand?
They did. Yeah, and that's why that's the case. I think they cleaned it up by at least by Return of the Jedi. I think in Empire Strikes Back too, they were all very much more uniform.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
the
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
uh, Looking at the Inquisitors, I the makeup looks really good. I'm pleased with the makeup,
Yeah,
and it looks like I don't know. I've never heard of these any of these actors, but they look like good castings.
yeah,
The only thing that's going to take some getting used to, and it's not necessarily a complaint, but just that Re- Rebels has a very cartoonish art style, even more so than the Clone Wars.
yeah.
So translating that over could be a little rough. Like the fifth brother. Do you know which one that is?
The
The guy.
fifth brother. I do not. Is he the
He's
one?
he's got this sort of like triangle
Oh yeah, on
head.
his head. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right.
It's a very cartoonish look, and in Rebels, the Grand Inquisitor, he's much more like slender and skinny, but he looks a bit beefier
Yeah,
now
I
in
guess it.
Kenobi.
I guess it's like the one and only. I guess one of the faults that you kind of take when trying to translate a cartoon to live action like Ahsoka. I remember people with Ahsoka like back with when she first came in, uh, what almost like a year and a half already. When she first came in, people were saying her leku were too short.
Mhm. Yeah, it's hard because cartoons are very emphasized, I guess, and have exaggerated art styles. I mean, the example everyone uses is Dooku from the Clone Wars. Like his face
Oh
is
yeah,
he looks like his face is like moon shaped, but obviously that's not quite how he looks in the in Revenge of the Sith and Attack of the Clones. But people don't complain about it going from live action to a cartoon art style because it's sort of expected for those things to be I don't know, like I said, very emphasized and exaggerated, but going the other way around is difficult because people I guess have a sort of expectation for it to look how they imagine in their brains.
yeah. I remember back like towards the very end of Book of Boba Fett people were complaining about Cad Bane, which I could kind of like see. They're like, okay, yeah, he's not maybe the quite the same shade of blue, or his face isn't like quite as elongated as it should be. But I mean, honestly, I remember when I first saw him, like I'm like, dude, he's menacing.
He looks scary.
yeah, he looks scary with his teeth and everything. And he's like, or is a cold-blooded killer. I don't even remember what he said.
Shut up.
What?
Boba Fett is a cold-blooded killer who works for the Empire. People, I mean,
Yeah. or
I think
I think he
people
said,
misinterpret that line
s-
too. I've heard a lot of people complaining like, "Well, Cad Bane's no better." It's like I think that's the point. I think that's why he's saying that. I think he's
yeah,
saying that Boba Fett is no different from me. Like he's a
yeah,
cold-blooded killer just like me. I don't think he's trying to like take the moral high ground and be like, "I'm the good guy," because clearly he's not.
yeah, yeah. No, I completely agree. I don't think he was trying to, like when he says that line, like Boba Fett is a cold-blooded killer who worked for the Empire. I think he was trying to tell Cobb Vanth like two things. One, exactly what you were saying, like, hey, I know who Boba Fett is. If and you know, uh, I know like I'm associated with Boba Fett, so therefore I am this the same status as him, a cold-blooded killer who who's worked for the Empire. Um, And then I think the other thing he was trying to get across was like, hey, don't trust Boba Fett. Like, don't even bother associating yourself, Freetown, with Boba Fett because this is like his past. Like he's trying to not
He's trying to
blackmail.
cancel Boba Fett.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's not trying to blackmail Boba Fett, but he's basically trying to go in and say like, yeah, he used to work for the Empire, so why would you want to go and help him?
Yeah.
And that,
And
yeah,
also nothing is stopping him from like just lying basically. Even if he claims to like be better than Boba Fett, he is the antagonist. He could just be lying. Like I don't
yeah,
know. But that's a very Star Wars thing that people never lie. Like when Darth Vader told Luke that he is his father, you just got to believe him.
yeah.
Star Wars villains
I
never lie.
I remember I saw like two things about that. Like, isn't so? I thought isn't the original line? Didn't the line actually get changed? I didn't. What? So the line now is Luke, I am your father, or wasn't the original line? Uh, Luke, I am your father, but now the line, since they've been like re-edited or whatever, the new line is no, I am your father.
Oh no, it's always been no, I am your father, I'm pretty sure. But I'm not exactly sure why people always quote it that way. I just think it's to give it context because if you went around saying no, I am your father, people wouldn't really know you're talking about Star Wars. But if you were
That's
like
true.
Luke, I am your father, it's like okay, he's talking about Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, yeah, um, yeah. I don't even remember what I was gonna say. Shit. Um,
It's the Mandela effect. He
yeah,
got merged with another
yeah,
universe.
right. This is where we're at. Um, yeah, I really hope I want to see them do a Book of Boba Fett season 2, but I just hope it's what I wanted from season 1 because and like you and I have talked about this before at work, like season 1, like I wanted to see a cold-blooded killer Boba Fett who like and like I already am getting the vibe from the Kenobi trailer that Kenobi isn't going to spend, his entire show on Tatooine, which is like I don't care if he's on Tatooine for, an episode and a half, but I kind of expect by the second episode because the way my mind works is like having a pre-established kind of like story, and hope that they follow it. Disney, um, and when they don't, I guess it's kind of where I set myself up for failure. But like like with the Obi-Wan trailer, like they don't reveal everything, but
Hmm.
clearly there's there's like multiple locations. Like there's obviously Tatooine, then there's that like Submariner type Empire base that looks really similar to Jedi Fallen Order, where
It
it
is the same, I think.
we're all
I think the
yeah.
planet is called Nur or Nar, something like that.
See, I've never made it far in the game. Like I know the ending and Darth Vader comes up and ruins everybody's day, but
It's called the Fortress Inquisitorius, and it's in the same system as Mustafar.
oh okay. Um, but it's there's that location, and then there's also another location that has that kind of crime underworld feel, um, kind of like Coruscant, which that's exactly what I was expecting to kind of come out of Boba Fett, but it never did. So I was like, well, since it never really happened, maybe Boba Fett's like a holdover for Obi-Wan. I have no idea. I don't think so, but
Yeah, I
because
got kind of bored of Tatooine too. I mean, we've been to Tatooine a lot in The Mandalorian.
yeah,
It's in it's in
all the movies almost.
6 out of the 9 movies,
And then
I
they
think.
basically just replaced Tatooine with Jakku, which back in the day when Force Awakens first came out, and I found out, oh, because I assumed at first it was Tatooine, and but then I find out it's Jakku, and I'm like, okay, that doesn't really like it's just another desert planet to me. Like if it's gonna be like the only the only reason I think of Jakku is because of the sequel trilogy, and then there's this really stupid rhyme that was on a Star Wars Valentine's Day card where it's like Finn, and it says roses are red, violets are blue. Why does everybody want to go back to Jakku?
Ja-
And that's like
I
one of
mean,
the
Jakku. There's a lot of cool stories that take place on Jakku. It has pretty neat lore, but it's such a boring environment. It's just a desert,
like it
just the same as
seems,
Tatooine.
yeah, like it seems more like seems less interesting than Tatooine.
Like it being like the graveyard of the Empire. I don't know if you know about that, but like the last
Big
uh,
battle.
a- yeah, after the second Death Star was destroyed, the Empire like rallied the rest of their forces in basically a suicide run against the New Republic on Jakku, and so that's why in the Force Awakens Rey lives in a I think she lives in an AT-AT,
Yeah,
um, and she's like scavenging from a star destroyer. That's why all that stuff is there, and I think that's really cool. But
yeah,
it's just a desert. Other than that, and I don't know. I want to see. I'm getting kind of tired of just the planets that are like one thing.
yeah. Well, like at the end of the Rise of Skywalker, she like buries the lightsabers in the sand, and then some random old lady, who I honestly don't even know, is just like, "Who are you?" And then she's just like, I'm Rey Skywalker," and I'm just like, "What?"
That I think they could have pulled off that line if they really wanted to, but the way to do it definitely was not to have like a random old lady
Yeah, I don't even know
be
who that
the
lady was. You know what? I'm gonna look that up right now. I'm gonna see.
just a old lady with her EOP.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Who was the old lady at?
Little do you know, she actually has 10 comic series
Yeah, yeah,
detailing her
probably.
backstory.
All right.
She's Darth Plagueis's
His third
niece.
cousin. Yeah. Unidentified Tatooine elder. Wikipedia. Let's see. Usually Wikipedia doesn't lie to me that often, so I can kind of trust them. There has been no one for so long. Joke's on me. It's probably like Shmi.
There's been no one for so long. Does she like live in the Lars homestead?
Yeah, maybe.
Does she squat there?
Yeah, she's a squatter.
Isn't the Lars homestead just like out in the country in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah, it's like it's like miles outside of like Moss Isley, huh? Or is it Moss Espa?
Yeah, Moss Isley,
Yeah,
I think is the
it's
closer
like
one.
miles kind of out there.
What is she doing there?
Right? I'm just passing through. The elder was walking in Ethiopia. Yeah. Okay. Uh huh. Uh huh. I'm reading. I'm reading. There's really like no information on her. There's no information on her. There's nothing. Yeah, the only information Wikipedia is giving me is
What's in the movie?
what's in the movie. She just walks up. Who are you? And no one. Yeah, no one's been here for so long. And then that's it.
If they really needed a character to ask Ray that question, it should have been an important character, I feel.
Right?
Like,
They could have
I
had
don't
it
know.
be. They could have had it been Mace Windu, without revealing him. Maybe. No, wait.
I
He
don't know.
would have
I
been
don't want
dead.
Mace
Yeah,
Windu.
no. He would have been dead. He would have been dead. That doesn't make
Well,
sense.
he talked. He was one of the voices that talked to her, so he is dead.
Yeah.
I, which I don't understand. I don't.
That. Yeah.
A lot of those old Jedi from the prequels, they were not sort of painted as antagonists, but like flawed heroes, I guess. Like they had backwards way of a very backwards way of thinking,
Yeah.
especially Mace Windu. So I don't know. It doesn't seem right that at the end of the Rise of Skywalker, it's like, oh, all these Jedi, all these amazing Jedi are motivating her. It's like they were not really amazing Jedi. It's kind of their fault that the Republic fell in the
Fell.
first place.
I think that's both. I honestly, I agree with that, but I also think I'm kind of neutral, I guess 50-50 on that because I think I'd say that yes, it's partly their fault for kind of I don't want to say they let it happen. I just feel like
For being Jedi, they were
I
very
mean for being the best Jedi of their time, which they were, like uh Kundi, Mace Windu, Yoda. Like I get it, they were spread thin at the very end of the war. They were spread thin, and you have multiple like all the Jedi spread across the galaxy, so it makes them because if they were all like at the temple when it happened, I don't think the Emperor's like plans of ruling the galaxy would have came through.
yeah. I don't have you gotten to reading or any of the novels or comics from the High Republic
I have not.
yet?
I haven't read any yet. I need to though.
It's pretty interesting, like the difference between the Jedi of that time and the age of right before the Republic fell.
Yeah.
You could say the Jedi of sort of the prequel era were very strict about you cannot do this, you cannot do that, or you are not a Jedi. But in the High Republic, it's they're sort of more like strong encouragements. Like a lot of the Jedi just straight up like have sex with each other.
Yeah, sex
Um,
before marriage is immoral.
oh, that's the best Boba Fett quote.
Oh my
Sex
god.
before marriage is immoral.
What was it? I still think it's funny where it's like um what is he what's the one chick's name from Book of Boba Fett? I'm trying to remember.
Fennec Shan.
Van Fennec. Yeah. Um, Fennec, I want to I want to become a Sith. Take me to Korabantha. I
I
don't.
need to write.
I just lost my audio for a second.
Uh,
Whoops. I need to invest in a better headset. You know what? That's the first thing I'm gonna do when I have the money. I'm gonna invest in a better headset.
I
Um,
am gonna have a headset soon. I don't know if you heard, but earlier I said I'm waking up at 5 a.m. tomorrow to go wait outside of GameStop to get a PlayStation 5.
oh, are
Um,
you really?
yeah, but it
Nice.
only because GameStop loves my money. the PlayStation 5 only comes in a huge bundle, and a part of that bundle is a really nice headset, I guess. So,
Oh, I mean,
um,
you could most PS like I have a PS4 and a PS4 headset, and I would use that like later this year. I do intend to stream the next God of War game. Um, and so usually if I stream on Twitch playing God of War, like I'll play with that headset rather than this one just because it's wireless. But this headset I've had like all my equipment for my PC setup, most of it, most like CPU, RAM, motherboard, and my headset, like and mouse and keyboard, all that's like almost like 7, 8 years old.
Jesus.
Yeah, I've had it for a while. So like I've I've been slowly like each year I've been buying new and new parts. Like last year I got new fans, got a new case because I wanted to focus on keeping the old components nice and cool before then I start upgrading one by one
Yeah.
because heat is the enemy of PCs and that's what makes your parts like not last as long. But they've lasted me for so long. Like today I actually just moved my entire desk setup into my bedroom. So that way the whole family and everybody, like if we're having our podcast during the week, or if we decide to do it more frequently, like maybe twice a week or something, that way they're not having to like be quiet or anything. You know, I can just go into the room, turn on the lap or PC, and then
Yeah.
But
My PC, I mean, I think it's on its fifth year right now. And she's gotten slower over the years, but I mean, I don't think any maintenance is required just yet. We'll see.
yeah, we at Office Depot where I work, we do that's all I do is work on computers. I mean, when I'm not at the register, but so if you ever have any problems, like you can always bring it in and we can take a look at it. Diagnostics are always free.
It's nice. It's a sweet deal.
Um, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, Boba Fett.
Boba Fett. Boba Fett.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna go
just
back to what you said a little bit ago. Did you
yeah.
have something to say?
No, no, no. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Um, you were talking about how you wanted like a cold-blooded
Yeah,
killer or something like that. Um, I kind of see where you're coming from. I like the character arc that they presented of him trying to be more of a sort of respectable but like harsh leader than just a mindless killer. But um, I don't I don't think that that arc was as effective as it could be, just because there wasn't really a clear progression, because all of the character growth that he had was in the flashbacks, and every time you cut from the flashback to the present time, it's just him learning not to be a killer to the present time when he already knows like how to be a decent person. So it's hard to line up a clear character arc and a clear shift in character, if you know what I'm trying to say.
yeah,
And it's almost jarring in a way, but I like all the stuff that's in the flashbacks. I just think if they organized it better, it would have been more effective.
yeah, yeah. The flashback stuff wasn't bad, but like yeah, like organized, and that's what I just didn't understand. I'm like, because like the first episode, okay, they have the flashbacks. I get it. The second episode, at one point, like it's the current like timeline. It's like in it's at the very like most current up to date moment to moment, and then there was like flashbacks of him at the Tuscan Raider camp, and then there was flashbacks of him as a kid. So then it's like then it kind of adds layers to it, and like not really subplots, but or I mean that's probably the one complaint I have like about Lord of the Rings is like once you get into like the second movie, you have like multiple like threads going at once, like multiple
Yeah.
um, things happening at once. Like you have Frodo and Sam, you have like Merry and Pippin, and then you have like Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli. Like they're all like three different um, plots, three different like points in time taking place at once. So I
Yeah.
mean, but they did a good job of organizing it, and I just wish that organization was there for Boba Fett.
Yeah. In the case of the book of Boba Fett, I wasn't when it switched from like flashbacks to present time or from present time to flashbacks, I was never excited about it. I kind of just wanted to stick with the story that was already going. Like going from the flashbacks to present time, it was like oh come on. Like I just wanted to see what was happening next in the flashbacks, and then I had to, slowly I would get excited about what was happening in the present time, but then it would switch back again and I was just disappointed. Like I was never excited when it switched. It was just kind of it like broke up the excitement for me. It didn't add to it.
Yeah, that's kind of exactly how I felt too. Like I didn't get like when the flashbacks happened, like when they happened when he was a kid, that's where I was really interested, and then you get to see Camino for a little bit. But it's like I wanted to see maybe a little bit more of that, you know. But
Yeah, they only had a couple like shots, I
yeah,
think.
and they were kind
Just
of
him in the Geonosis arena and then watching Django fly away. I think those were the only two shots from Camino.
yeah, that's it. That's all you get to see, and it's just like I feel like that just there's just so much that I feel like they could have done with the show that because they didn't, I was really kind of let down, and because Boba Fett is a cool killer, cool killer. Yeah, he's a cool killer. No, he's a cool character, and I don't know. It's just like how did they? I just don't understand how the like how it happened the way that it did. I mean, it just kind of is what it is, but I don't know. Like the thing, I was talking with my dad the other day, um, and I was basically like telling him, I'm like, if Kenobi's a bad show, like it's for me personally, I think it, like I'll still follow like what happens with Star Wars, but like I think this is like a make or break thing. I feel like kind of right now, especially with the fan base. Like if Kenobi like is not good at all, like let's just say it's crap, like I think people are still gonna consume Star Wars, and the people they're still you're still gonna love it, but it's like I just feel like it won't hold that. Just won't be interesting, you know?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, if I don't like it, then it's fine. I'm not gonna like drop Star Wars or anything. There's
Yeah,
still the next season of The Mandalorian, which is, I mean, mostly everyone I talk to loves that show. I've heard very few people that don't like it.
yeah. No,
The book of
I really like that show too.
the book of Boba Fett for the most part I thought was decent. It wasn't like super exciting. It wasn't jaw dropping or groundbreaking or anything, but it was fun to watch every week. It didn't turn me off from Star Wars in any way, but like I don't know. If Kenobi just sucks for some reason, I won't be too bothered because I follow all the books and comics and stuff too, and
Yeah,
I'm pretty pleased by those recently,
I
especially the
guess
books.
I guess I guess just because I haven't been following the books or the comics, that's maybe kind of like why I am where I'm at, where I'm like, if the if because I'm mostly like I'm really into film and television, and so I feel like I guess if film and television isn't doing well, then I feel like kind of like, well then what the heck.
Yeah.
But I do definitely need. I was like years ago. I was reading Star Wars. I think before Disney purchased Star Wars, it was called Star Wars Legacy,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the one with like Cade Skywalker.
That that's all like post Luke Skywalker stuff, right?
I think it's like Yeah, yeah, it is. It's like Luke Skywalker's like great grandson or his grandson
Hmm.
or whatever.
Yeah, I've I've been trying to go through all the legend stuff and the canon stuff too, like in order. So it's gonna take me a while to get all the way there.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm kind of excited. There's actually a lot of consistency between legends and canon or old canon and new canon or whatever you want to call it, but like most of it actually fits together like very nicely, except except for like I don't know, like Luke Skywalker and Mara Jade and all that, all the stuff post Return of the Jedi in in Legends or old canon or whatever doesn't fit in, but mostly everything else does. So that's something sort of interesting I found. But even the new sequel trilogy, it's kind of in a very weird way just a sort of scrambled up version of what are those books called? The just the ones with like the Palpatine clones.
Oh, like expanded universe?
Yeah, there's like a specific book series.
It's not
It's not
hair
Dark
to the no hair to the
Heir
hair
to
to
the
the
Empire.
empire.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's
those are I gotta go back and reread them because there's like the Timothy Zahn books.
mhm.
Those are good.
He still writes. I
He
don't know if he does
does.
anymore. Yeah,
Oh,
he wrote canon Thrawn books, which
yeah.
I have one of those. I haven't read it yet. I
Like
heard it's really good.
the books from the '90s, like Hair to the Empire, Splinters of the Mind's Eye. I'm pretty sure that's one where Luke and Leia are
Splint
actually.
Splinter of the Mind's Eye is that's a sequel to A New Hope that they wrote just in case it wasn't successful, so they would just put out the sequel as a book, and it's very different from The Empire Strikes Back. It's very strange.
Well, yeah, it's like where they're searching for like this gem, and then Darth Vader finds Luke and Leia on I think it's Yavin 4 or something. They're like in a temple, and the gem I think allows you to see into the future or something like that. And then anyway, yeah, it was pretty cool. I haven't like I read all those books back in like early elementary, like, or I'd say late elementary, like into early like mid middle school, and then what is it? Like right before high school is kind of like when I just dropped them. But I definitely want to reread them.
Pull this off of my shelf. This is there's there's two new Thrawn trilogy books. Um, One is set sort of during kind of the prequel era, and this
Mm-hmm.
is the first of those. I haven't read it yet. It's called Thrawn Ascendancy. I
Hmm.
think it focuses a lot on the. I mean, it's called Thrawn Ascendancy, so it focuses, I think, at least a little bit on the Chiss Ascendancy, which I always thought was interesting.
Nice
Anyway,
jacket, by the way.
thank you.
I see the you got all the logos and stuff. That's cool. Are they patches?
Yeah, they are patches.
That's even cooler.
Yeah. I've got some more that I have to put on it, but I've been lazy. Uh, what else do we have to talk about? Is there any new Star Wars news?
Besides Kenobi is like kind of what's hot right now.
Yeah,
I mean, are you gonna play the new Skywalker Saga
the Lego game?
Lego game when it comes out?
Probably. I mean, I'm not super excited by the Lego games. I mean, I played them as a younger
Yeah,
kid and they were fun,
they were
but
pretty good. The first one
they're
was
pretty
pretty
good.
good back in 2005.
Yeah, I'll get it. I'll play it. I don't know if I'm gonna like get everything in it or like beat it completely, but it looks pretty good. I mean, looks a lot of hard work looks like it's been put into it. We'll see. We'll see how that turns out. I'm more excited for they announced the sequel to Fallen Order, and I think two other games. I think a top down strategy game and a first person shooter Star Wars games. But I
Wait,
don't.
sorry, can you repeat that? I didn't quite hear you.
Um, Recently they announced three new Star Wars games. They One of
What?
them was a sequel to Fallen Order, and the other
Yeah.
two, one of them was a top-down strategy game, I think, and the other one was a first-person shooter.
Hmm. Well, I mean, I hope like it would be cool if they. I mean, I know they're not going to do another Battlefront, so it's kind of sad. But I don't know. I
What is
just
sad?
the excuse me, sorry. The Battlefront from 2015 was pretty fun. I played that for out like 300 plus hours.
The new one was good after the Battlefront 2 from I don't know 2017, I think. It was good after they fixed everything from the beta test because
Oh,
they put out the beta test which had a bunch of loot crates and stuff and
yeah, that was
everyone
bad.
complained. So they took that out for like the normal release and then it was great. Then it had like a normal progression system and I still play it sometimes.
Yeah.
They they cut it off though, I guess for so the developers could focus on the new Battlefield, which I'm
Hmm.
not interested in.
Yeah, I'm not really interested in that either.
Miss us, so I'm
The only
gonna go
Battlefield game I've ever played is
down there and you're
Battlefield
gonna
1, and I just played it because um I think historical games are very much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. What else do we have on the docket?
I'm thinking. There's a. I feel like for our first episode, it's not really a bad thing that we're kind of like all over the place because kind of just getting our
Figuring ourselves out.
yeah, figuring out like because it's easy like for more established podcasters to kind of like okay, this is what we're talking about. Like they usually like talk about the latest news and everything, but it's
They know
like
their formula. They know what
yeah,
works.
exactly.
What do you think? Do you think it's a good thing? And I noticed it kind of started in Solo, with Darth Maul at the end, which is kind of a lackluster cameo, but that's a different story. Do you think it's a good thing for them to continue bringing so many like animated characters and comic book characters to live action, or do you think that could be potentially confusing for a lot of people?
Well, I think it is a good thing because I mean the thing is like especially like with Marvel and the thing is like with Star Wars, the thing is with like most film franchises like they shouldn't have to like with Spider-Man what's it? Spider-Man No Way Home recently. Like I don't know if you saw the movie, probably did, but
I did.
they brought back all the three Spider-Men. And like the thing is like you don't have to it's like a double-edged sword. You don't have to have seen all the Spider-Man movies to know that they're bringing back all three Spider-Man in the newest Spider-Man movie or to even want to go see that and experience how awesome that is. Um,
Right. And
but it
I don't think I've heard people say it's like kind of a bad business move or whatever. I disagree. I think it's a great business move.
yeah,
I don't think having these unfamiliar characters from comics and other TV shows, I don't think that repels people from watching it. I don't think that makes people go, "Oh, I don't know who these characters are. This is too confusing. I'm not going to watch it." I think it makes people go, "Wow, that character is really cool. I want to go check out the other stuff he's in." You know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah, that's exactly. I agree with you 100% on that. And that's like the thing, especially with Marvel, because like there's sometimes I talk to people like back right before leading up to Infinity War. I would talk to friends or family or other people, and they're like, and then we'd be talking about something, and then they'd be asked like I would be telling them like, oh, wasn't it cool in this movie when this happened? And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you not watch Thor Ragnarok? No, I skipped that one, and I'm like, what? Why would you skip it? Like the MCU, like I didn't start watching the Marvel movies until Winter Soldier. That was the first one I saw, and that's probably my favorite besides Infinity War. But with Star Wars, it's like I get people aren't gonna they're not going to digest all of Star Wars, like comics and books and things like that. But especially like with film and television and like even the animated series, like I just don't want like Lucasfilm or Disney to try to make something that's going to cater to everybody because you're not going to be able to please every fan out there. And I feel like
Yeah.
that's what they kind of tried to do with the sequel trilogy, and of course it doesn't work, especially with
And
something.
I think they've learned their lesson. I mean, one thing I think they've been doing a really great job of recently is making it all feel very connected and very consistent. Um, like, I mean, we've kind of been ragging on the Book of Boba Fett a little bit, but I think Black Black Krrsantan was a great. I think he was a great character to put in there. He is from the comics, but I mean, you don't need to have read the comics to understand who this character is and how he's going to act. I mean, the second he steps into the frame, you know, okay, this is a tough, no nonsense, black haired Wookiee. Like you know his deal.
Yeah, like I didn't know who he was until you're exactly right, Alex. I didn't know who he was until I watched Book of Boba Fett, and then this Wookiee appeared on frame, and I'm like, holy shit, that guy looks like a bad motherfucker, you know? And I'm like, he looks like a bounty hunter, but who's a Wookiee.
Yeah,
And
and you don't even need to have read the comics to know he has a history with Boba Fett because in Boba Fett's dialogue with him, he he kind of subtly mentions that he knows what's up with this guy. He's like, go back to the gladiator pits or something. So it's like, okay, Boba Fett knows who this dude is. He knows where he's been and what he's been up to. Like
yeah,
these guys have a history together. And you don't need to have read the comics. You don't need to literally know what their history together is to understand their relationship. And
yeah,
I think that's I think they did an amazing job because people who know who have read the comics, it's not jarring to them because there are references to the comics and it stays consistent, and people who haven't read the comics are able to look at this character and not be confused by his appearance.
no, no, yeah, that's exactly right. Um, yeah, I think I'm hoping Disney has learned their lesson moving forward. Like you're not going to be able to make a product that's going to please the masses. It's especially with Star Wars. Like just make good quality Star Wars, and that's
Yeah,
literally all they have to do. Like making good quality Star Wars isn't the easiest thing in the world, but it's not. They should know that it's not the most difficult thing.
it
And
the sequel trilogy especially, it it feels like between each of those movies, like a committee got together and was like, okay, what did people not like about the previous one? What did people like? And let's do less of this and more of that. And it's
exactly,
like, just just make the story, make it the way it was supposed to be from the beginning, and it should all come together.
it should pretty much write itself. What was it like when I used to at one of my other jobs? I was working with this one coworker at the time, and this was like a few years ago. And him and I like we were closing, and single handedly like in a night's shift, we're able to like kind of come up with throwing different ideas out there. Um, Throwing different ideas out there of like what would make the sequel like we were so what we did we were like let's rewrite the sequel trilogy for our shift, so like every time we kind of pass each other, you know, restocking shelves or whatever, we can rewrite the trilogy, and we'll just see how it goes. And like we immediately like it really took off, you know. And it's like it just goes to show like i think I think the people like J.J. Abrams, Ryan Johnson, I more so Ryan Johnson. Like I just don't feel like they're. I feel like Ryan Johnson just isn't a real Star Wars fan. Like he's just like
I don't know. I don't know if you should go that whole thing saying who's a real Star Wars fan and who's not a real Star Wars fan
Well,
is kind of a
but
pointless debate. But
that's
like,
true. But like, when you're given an opportunity of a lifetime to write and direct a Star Wars movie, and then they did what they did, especially like with the Last Jedi with Luke, and I just kind of feel like it should be a no brainer. Like Luke is like the epitome of Luke is Luke, like in Return of the Jedi. Like that is Luke, like a good, upstanding guy who's capable of knowing right from wrong, and he still sees good in Vader after everything Darth Vader has done. His entire life. He's like I sense the good in you, and he's like and when they're talking on that like below that platform on Endor, I think Vader kind of like slightly pauses, and he's just kind of like, Anakin Skywalker is no more.
he kind of acknowledges that Luke is right almost because
Yeah,
he doesn't say you're wrong. I'm the bad guy, bitch. He's kind of just like you're right, but it's too late for me.
yeah, yeah. That's it. I think you're right. That's exactly what he says. He's like, it is too late for me, you know. But it's like because Luke is right. There's like still a very small like Anakin is down in there somewhere, even though he's like half machine, you know. Um, but there's still like he's still down in there. He's down there. He's like down there deep, but he's in there, and that's basically like um, how did I get this? How did we get onto this topic? But like, I feel like,
I think you were going to compare it to like how he acts in the Last Jedi.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was. Like comparing like that version of Luke to what we get in Last Jedi. Like I just feel like it's such a, and they do explain the events like. Snoke corrupts Kylo Ren, but it turns out to be the Emperor who actually is using Snoke as a
Which is
scapegoat.
very overly convoluted.
Exactly, and then
But
and then corrupted Kylo Ren, and then now Kylo Ren has basically turned his back on everything that Luke has stand for and tried to build with the new Jedi Order and everything, and it's just like, okay, that's I can understand how that happened, but I just don't understand like. I can understand maybe like why Luke might feel the way he does. I just don't understand like how did it become so bad, like depressing to the point of where it is.
I get that. I definitely get that.
And I feel, in a way, I do feel like they kind of did Luke dirty in that movie.
I don't I don't necessarily agree. I think the point of the movie is that, well, not the point of the whole movie, but the Luke parts is that yeah, he's not acting like himself, but like why is that the case? What made that the case? I mean, I understand if you don't think the answer was very satisfying. I was satisfied by it for the most part. Like the way I took it is that he was trained by the only two people who ever trained him in the Jedi ways were Yoda and Obi-Wan, and they were a part of a very flawed a very flawed era of Jedi who made a lot of mistakes, who had a lot of weird rules and weird doctrines, like you can't join if you're like not a baby, like if you're not a freaking
Youngling or
fetus,
whatever.
if you're not a little fetus child, then get the hell out of here. You can't be a Jedi. Just like weird things like that. And I think it was those teachings that caused him. I mean, when he walks into Ben Solo's little hut or whatever, and he sees the darkness in him, I think I think the point was that he was relying too much on those old Jedi ways that focus on crushing the dark and having no empathy for anyone. And if there's a problem, if there's a problem with a Jedi, then kick him the hell out. I mean, don't provide him with any support. Don't help him get through whatever's causing this darkness. Just either kill him or kick him out of the Jedi Order. And in the movie, he has that instinct, and he ignites his lightsaber, and it only lasts for like half a second, and his narration, he says how ashamed he was of that moment. And I'm just there's that sequence seemed sort of,
It did seem kind of
it seemed
off.
believable. What was that?
It's believable, but it does seem kind of off.
What do you mean? Explain.
Well, like it's believable that like I want to know like why was Luke walking past Kylo's Ren hut at a certain time at night? Why did he walk in and now why
Because
is he like
I think
reading
it
his
said,
mind?
like, I don't know, he was having, he sensed great darkness coming from the hut or something like that. I don't
It's
I
it's
It's been a while.
it is. I mean, I'll have to go back and watch it. But it's just weird. I'm like, I don't know. From a logical standpoint, I'm just like, okay, why is Luke there in the first place? Why is he inside, you know, Ben's hut? Like, if he did sense the dark present of like where it was a familiar presence, almost like Vader or Emperor Palpatine that on the dark side. If he sensed that and he's like, why don't they show him like in his hut eating dinner, and then he senses the presence, and then he gets up, he goes outside, and then he's like, I sense a dark presence coming from Kylo's, you know, tent or hut. So I went inside, and I found Kylo sleeping, and then that's when I realized the sense was coming, not from elsewhere, but from him. You know what I mean? Like if that's like what happens, why don't they explain it that way? And I get it, film they have to cut down, time because the more showings that they can have, the more money they can make. But it's like I don't want the expense of them making enough money, compromising the story. And I feel like that's kind of like that's what
Yeah,
happens. I feel
there
like
are
a
a lot of
lot.
deleted there are a lot of deleted scenes from that movie that, you'll see deleted scenes from movies, Star Wars movies too, where you'll be like, okay, that was kind of a pointless scene. I see why they took that one out. But there's a lot of deleted scenes from The Last Jedi that I think would have made the movie like a lot better. Like there's a
Yeah.
scene that's only like 5 seconds long where Luke like sits down and mourns Han Solo's death. It's only like 5 seconds long. It doesn't take away from
Oh yeah,
anything, and
it's
it's
when
just
he's in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon, huh?
I don't remember if it's in the cockpit or in
Somewhere
his
else
little
on the ship.
house, but somewhere he like mourns Han Solo's death, and it's like really sad, and it's an emotional scene, and it's only like 5 seconds long. So I don't understand why they would take. There's a lot of scenes from that movie that I think should have been in the movie.
Yeah, with that movie, I just there's a lot of scenes that I feel like that yeah that should have been.
And have you seen the deleted scene, like Finn's extended standoff with Phasma?
I think I did. I know there is a deleted scene from The Force Awakens where you see Kylo. He actually finds the Millennium Falcon on Ilum, Starkiller Base,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought it was kind of dumb how like until excuse me until like Jedi Fallen Order came out, we didn't even know that Starkiller Base was Ilum.
I think a lot of hints were dropped. There was
Yeah,
some
hints,
reference
but
book.
like it wasn't like officially like canon as far as
Yeah,
my memory because like I'm like, well, if that's canon, like that's something that should have been mentioned like either before The Force Awakens or when the movie released. And then I think when I found out finally and it was like canon because of Jedi Fallen Order, um that it's like okay, why didn't we know about this like 3 4 years prior?
it would have made. I think it would have made the whole Star Killer base reveal a lot more believable, because the way it is, it's just like, oh, there's another Death Star.
Yeah, it must have some
But
kind of thermal oscillator.
if they incorporated the Ilum stuff, I think I would have been like, okay, this is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I dig this.
the
But
First Order has been, for the past 30 years working on the remnants of the Empire, took the planet Ilum and converted it into a mega Death Star. It's like, okay, that's more believable than just Star Killer base
Like,
popping out of
I,
nowhere.
I cringe every time I watch The Force Awakens and they're like talking about Star Killer Base, and some guy's like, "It's the Death Star."
Yeah, I think isn't
That's
that
so on the
or what
nose.
is it like? Especially, I think it's isn't it Admiral Akbar?
I don't know. I think it's just some random dude.
Um, yeah. What is it? Admiral Akbar. Admiral Akbar. He dies in the Last Jedi. He
So
just
sad.
nobody like Leia doesn't even save him. She just saves herself, Mary Poppins style, and then flies back to the ship, and then that's it. I'm just like,
That
I remember when I first watched that, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? This is
that
this is fucking dumb."
the I don't have a problem with like Leia using the Force to like drag herself back to the ship or anything, but I think it was shot so poorly. It looks so silly.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Um, yeah, yeah. I just thought because it's like I thought they were gonna kill her, and then it's like I wanted them to follow. Like if you're so close to killing a character, I wanted them to follow through on it because I think what was it? I think at that point she was already. I think she maybe she had didn't she had just passed away. She either had just passed
She
away before or right after
she
that
just
film came out.
right before, I'm pretty sure.
And it's like, and it's like if she had just passed, like if they don't have a plan for the character, just like either kill them off or don't touch them at all. And like it really, the biggest missed opportunity is we never got to see the original cast members on screen at any point.
Together.
Yeah,
I don't
like
know. I
I,
don't care too much about that. That seems kind of like fan servicey to me.
I think it still would have been cool.
Would have been cool. Would have been like, yeah, that's cool. But I don't. If it served this if it served the story in a good way, I'd be all for it. But
Yeah, I think if they would
if it
have
was
found a way to,
if it was just for the purpose of look, it's Han, Leia, and Luke together again, haha, then it's like, okay, but why? You know what I mean?
yeah,
But I think the Rise of Skywalker does that sort of shit a lot. Is just like, look, it's this thing that you're familiar with, and
somehow
it's like
Palpatine
okay,
returned.
but yeah, it's okay, but why?
That is always the funniest, like
The
memeable.
dead speak.
That is like the funniest memeable thing from that movie. Somehow, Palpatine returned. The way Oscar Isaac says it, somehow, Palpatine returned. It's just so funny.
I mean,
And it's just out of the blue, too.
that is what I would say if I was in his position. I'd be, well, somehow Palpatine returned. I don't know how to explain it. It's
Oh, God.
I was stand-in. He's a stand-in for J.J. Abrams. J.J. Abrams is saying, I don't know how it happened.
Yeah.
Somehow,
Yeah.
I'll let the book writers explain it.
I'll let the book writers figure it out.
They always figure everything out.
They always figure out. They'll mention it somewhere in a video game.
They
5 years from now.
they did mention it in the novelization of The Rise of Skywalker. I think.
I honestly thought they were gonna like. I don't because to me it feels like a loose thread that hasn't been tied up.
It's just the same
But
thing from Heir to the Empire. It's just
yeah,
essence transfer into a
well,
clone.
well with the Mandalorian, like they were using the Empire was conducting these secret like operations. They were using Grogu's blood. I thought they were going to use Grogu's blood, and then like use Palpatine's blood, and then like try to clone Palpatine. Like you know,
Excited to see where that's going in the next
I
season.
thought that's exactly what they were trying to do. That's kind of like the idea
I
I
mean,
got
they may be doing that.
with the first season of Mandalorian. You
Well, that was
know,
in the second season, I
oh, that was
think.
in the second season.
Are you talking
No,
about when
no,
they go to
because
like the facility and
yeah, because well, No, yeah, that might be in the second season.
They're trying to get Grogu for the whole first season, but I think it's not until the second season that we actually see like what they're doing with his blood, and you see like the weird dude in the test tube.
Yeah. Well, it's like if Palpatine is alive, then why are they trying to clone him? Do they not know that he's alive, or they
I
just
think
do they like
the
this
expert.
is the problem. This is like where you run into problems. Do they not know that he's alive, or do they think that he's dead, but they're trying to clone him anyway? Or
I think
do they know that he's dead, or do they know that he's alive, but they're trying to make it look like they think that he's dead?
I'm not too concerned, but I think they're sort of heading towards the direction of explaining all that, so I'm waiting patiently, but we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, we'll see. Or it another I always laugh when I see like Star Wars memes, not because like I like bashing on it, but because some of them are pretty funny. Like what was it from the Book of Boba Fett when uh the armorer she's like she's like you are then you are a Mandalorian no longer. And then the meme that I saw, it's Mando, he's like, but I have the dark saber.
It's curious, I think. She has the horns on her helmet, which are from the that's like a sort of remnant from the section from the group of Mandalorians who followed Darth Maul.
Yeah.
And obviously he didn't wear a helmet or anything. So I think I don't know. I guess they'll
Oh, that is
explain
true,
that.
huh? Yeah, who
Well, we'll
knows?
see where that goes. I hope they explain something about her little head spikes. If they don't, it's fine, but like I think it's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, yeah. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, I'm excited for Kenobi. I'm trying to keep my optimism in check. Um, because I just don't want to be let down. But so far, that trailer like really popped. It feels like a fresh breath air. It feels like exactly what we need in terms of Star Wars. Like when I watched the trailer, I was really excited. They were playing Duel of the Fates. They were playing all the
And Battle of the Heroes.
and Battle Hero. They were playing all the perfect music. And then you know, yeah, I think like I've been waiting for so long to like see like the adventures of Obi-Wan post Revenge of the Sith. Years after that, and like the aftermath and how he deals with it, and like does he feel depressed, does he feel like that tremendous kind of sense of loss, and then you know like I've been wanting to see that for a long time, the dark
Yeah,
times.
I think I mean there's been a lot of Star Wars media that has tried to bridge the gap between the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy. I never really felt as though any I've liked those things plenty and I've thought
Hmm.
they were good, but I never thought any of them really bridged that gap really
Yeah, it
effectively.
just
But I
it
think
didn't feel
just
like it
looking
was
at this,
enough.
yeah, but just looking at this trailer, this feels like a real actual bridge between the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy. And I'm
Exactly.
really excited about that.
Yeah. Like the only other thing I can think of that really kind of felt like it was like oh, this is taking place in between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, like the Han Solo movie. That did feel like to me that felt like okay, wow, this is taking place in between those two,
Yeah.
from
It
Revenge of the
was
Sith to A New Hope. Whereas
it
like
was
Rogue One is just like, you know, to me that's like a appetizer to A New Hope.
Solo and Rogue One, they didn't feel like they bridged that gap. They didn't feel like a bridge between these two eras.
Yeah,
They just felt like they belonged in the same era as the original trilogy.
yeah,
The only thing in either of them that's really in reference to the prequels was Darth Maul in Solo, and which was sort of a confusing cameo. I mean, I hadn't watched the Clone Wars until after I watched Solo, and seeing Maul alive was actually what prompted me to watch the Clone Wars, because I knew he survived in that show, and that was all a big reveal. So I watched through that so I could understand it. But I think that's an example of a cameo, or like uh, a character from a cartoon or comics that being brought to live action, done in a poorer fashion.
Yeah.
But that's a whole thing. And I think, I mean, it kind of seems like they intended for there to be sequels to Solo,
Yeah, they
which,
were, but then I think they canceled it.
and I think they reworked it into the Lando Calrissian show that's coming out with Donald Glover,
Oh, I
if
didn't
I'm
know
not
about that. Oh
mistaken.
yeah, that is there. That, no, that's right. They are doing a Lando show. Yeah.
But who knows? It might get canceled. I think they canceled Rangers of the New Republic and
Yeah. The
a
Patty
couple other
Jenkins
shows.
film.
And that one was Rogue Squadron.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think they canceled that. I think they paused production, which could very well mean it's canceled, but we'll see.
Yeah.
What else is there? What do you think about the third sister?
I honestly don't know any of the sisters by like number or name or anything.
That's the new one. That's she's kind of featured a lot in the trailer.
Um. Oh, the black chick.
Yeah,
Yeah, she looks cool. I like the way she moves. She moves
she looks
like she moves like almost like Black Panther. Like
very fluidly.
she's very quick. The way she jumps, the way she like kind of slides. Like she.
You're gonna get canceled. You just called her the Black Panther.
Oh my god. I said she moves like Black Panther, like the superhero. No one can. I'm uncancelable. You hear me right now? Social media.
I'm gonna cancel you myself.
No, please don't.
She
Don't
has an
end.
she has an interesting lightsaber because all of the Inquisitors I think I've seen so far have those double bladed
The ones that
helicopter
spin.
blades, which are
Yeah.
kind of silly. But she just has a normal, like, single bladed red lightsaber. Or it
Yeah.
might be double bladed and she only extended one of the blades, but so far it just looks like a regular single bladed lightsaber.
No, she looks pretty cool. She looks like she's like full force hunting down Kenobi and is gonna mess him up.
I hope I hope they do a good job balancing all these villains, because not only do we have like these four or five inquisitors, but also Darth Vader. So
That's true. Darth Vader and Obi-Wan are set to have like a couple rematches. Honestly,
that's
it would be
a lot of
cool.
villains.
It would be cool that if Darth Vader's like he like the like let's say maybe one of the Inquisitors, doesn't matter which one except for the Grand Inquisitor because I know how he dies in Rebels. But like let's say one of the Inquisitors like they're like, "Ha, I have caught Obi-Wan." And then they're like, "All right, come in." And then it's Vader. Vader arrives. And then Obi-Wan's like, throwing out hints like, "Hey, I know who you are," you know, Anakin. And then in order to keep like Darth Vader's true identity a secret, like he kills like one of the Inquisitors, you know, who found out
Mhm.
his true identity. He like just kind of offs one of them.
I think almost for sure
I bet
this
that's
new
gonna happen.
character,
Yeah.
the third sister, or her real name is Reva, I guess, is what
Hmm.
I'm reading here. I think her and all of the other new Inquisitors that weren't killed off in other things, I think they're going to die in this show, because you can't have these guys running around alive while the
Yeah.
original trilogy is going on.
That's very true. That's very true. I think either Obi Wan's gonna kill a few, or maybe one Inquisitor will turn on another Inquisitor, or like I said, Darth Vader is gonna take one or two Inquisitor out on his own, because they know either his true identity or maybe they end up helping Obi Wan in some way. But yeah, no, I completely agree. Um,
I'm kind of interested to see the relationship between Obi-Wan and Owen Lars,
yeah,
because looking at the trailer, it kind of seems like, I don't know, these what comes across to me is like these Inquisitors are putting pressure on Tatooine, like as if they know a Jedi is on Tatooine, and they know that some of these people know who he is and where he is, and like comes across like, we'll leave you guys alone, we'll stop killing you and executing you or whatever, which is what I think is going on when they have that shot of the guy hanging.
Yeah, I think they're
I
like
think I think
putting him
maybe
up
they
on
killed him
this.
because,
Yeah,
like, show us where the Jedi is, or we'll keep doing this kind of shit.
we know someone here has information or has had previous association or ties with Obi-Wan, so you give us what information you have or we will make an example of this poor guy here and we're going to kill him. And that's where
Hmm.
like Owen is kind of like, "Oh shit."
What should I do?
He's like,
Should I?
his life isn't worth anything, so just let him die." No, I'm just kidding.
But he also, Owen Lars also obviously has a connection to Luke, and if he gives up Obi-Wan, he's probably also giving up Luke, which
And yeah,
is
so
not a
he
good deal.
he probably he probably finds a way to obviously get around it. So,
And I think that also may be why Obi-Wan goes to that other planet, just to get the trail off Tatooine. Like,
oh, of
maybe a
course,
lot
yeah,
of
of
maybe a
course,
lot of innocents maybe a lot of innocents die on Tatooine, and he's tired of seeing that happen. Or maybe even, this is just speculation at this point, maybe even Owen Lars confronts him and is like, all right, I know you're here to keep an eye on Luke and protect Luke, but you're doing more, your being here is doing more harm than good, so you need to get out of here.
yeah. I actually, you know what, you might be 100% right. Yeah, um,
So I
yeah,
think that would be interesting, seeing the reason why he leaves Tatooine, but also the reason why he comes back. And I think the reason why he comes back, maybe because he kills the Inquisitors, or some of them.
yeah. No, I agree. I agree. Um, yeah. What should we just stick with 4 p.m. or do you want to do like 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. every Thursday or something? Because I feel
Whatever
like,
works.
I mean, for me personally, like I have Thursday, Fridays off, and like 3 to 5 would be perfect. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't matter to me, but I just know that we have a lot to talk about, and I
Yeah.
feel like we could even keep going now. But I gotta go. I have to go start figuring out what we're gonna have for dinner and everything.
Oh yeah, I gotta go too. I had surgery yesterday on
Oh shit.
my feet again. It's the
Oh shit.
second time.
Well, hopefully that.
So I gotta
Hopefully,
go take care of my feet.
yeah. Hopefully that's going all right, man.
Oh, it's going great. I hope. It hurt pretty bad, but it's getting better.
Um. So
I
yeah.
actually watched the Kenobi trailer while they were operating on me,
Oh God.
just to distract me.
I
I was
mean,
like,
at least that's a good distraction. Good
they're
distraction.
they're like cutting up my toes, and I'm like, damn, this shit's so cool.
they're like, yeah. They're like, yeah. This is cool. This is cool. Hurry up, hurry! Get the surgery done. We got to get him out of here. He's
Anyway,
he's gone
well,
crazy.
hopefully there's some more news to talk about next week, or whenever
All
we do this
it
next.
we there's a million things that we could talk about,
There's a million things, yeah.
like and like we've only been talking for like an hour now, and
Yeah,
it flew by incredibly fast.
it did. It went by really
Now I
fast.
can understand how like people podcast for like 4 or 5 hours just
I
sitting there
know.
and they're just talking and talking and they just
I always
yeah.
I pull those up and listen to them, like, Jesus, how could these guys talk for like 5 hours? But it
Well,
makes
like
sense now.
yeah, it makes sense now because like we've been sitting here for an almost an hour and a half, an hour and 20 minutes, and like we've covered parts of Book of Boba Fett, a few ideas from the Kenobi trailer, and then a bunch of other stuff related to Star Wars as well. And then I know there's still so much like I want to talk about, but unfortunately like I just don't have enough time at the moment. I
Yeah,
mean, so but yeah, I guess if you want to do like another we can do another episode next Wednesday like
yeah,
you want to just go for 3 to 5?
yeah. I'm free all day on Wednesdays, so
Sweet.
3 to 5 works good. I've got a couple of videos I'm working on for the channel also that should, I think, either be done today or at the very least by the weekend. Um, it's I told you about it, but I'll just
Yeah.
talk about it again so it's on the record. Um, I'm going through all of the books, comic shows, everything, all the pieces of media from both Legends and Canon
Mm-hmm.
in chronological order, and I'm gonna compile a playlist for each of them as sort of like timelines as a guide to each thing. So right now I have something written for the very first thing on the Legends timeline is the Dawn of the Jedi comic. So I have
Yeah.
a little story recap, a timeline video worked out for the first issue of that comic, and the first thing for the canon timeline is also the first issue of a comic called The High Republic Adventures Annual. So I should have those done by the end of today, or if not, by the weekend. And yeah, I'll send those videos to you, or just get the password for the channel and upload them myself. But
Yeah.
they will be up soon.
Sweet. Yeah. Let me know. Awesome. This is gonna be
Yeah.
great. Yeah, I'm working on. I just turned my storage into like a miniature model making little workshop, and so I'm working on actually putting together this X-wing
Mm-hmm.
and painting it and everything and putting LEDs in it. It's not finished yet because I'm still waiting for some like materials to arrive in the mail. But as soon as I have everything, I'm gonna finish it, and then I'm gonna try to like learn how to recreate some like cool shots with the X-wing. And it's just mainly I'm trying to learn how to do it so that way like down the road I can go and hopefully recreate some custom models that you can't
Yeah.
buy on the market anywhere, and then film those.
Yeah, and that'll be
Um,
cool. That has the potential to look just like the movies because that's how they did it. It
yeah,
was the little miniatures.
that's exactly what I was going for. Because like my one of my favorite ships is the Outrider Dash
Which one's
Rendar.
that? Oh
It's
yeah, yeah.
it's the one that like looks like the Millennium Falcon, but it's a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably my favorite ship, and you cannot get like a custom model kit for it anywhere. And even I mean, they used to make like some like kind of like custom molds, whatever, through a guy who was on
You could
eBay.
3D print it, I guess.
Yeah, I just don't have a
Pull.
3D printer, so I'm just
Yeah,
like
those
instead
are
of
expensive.
instead of trying to do that, I'm gonna just get all the materials for model making, and I'm
Yeah,
just gonna make the model myself.
that that sounds cool. Give Keep me updated on that.
Because I wanted to, yeah, of course, because I wanted to
Take some pictures
use,
and stuff. We
yeah,
could Maybe we could start like a Facebook page or an Instagram page for the channel. You could post little updates on there.
that actually is a good idea. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's all. That would be a good move. I think we could also post links to like new videos and stuff.
Yeah, no, I agree, I agree. But yeah, I wanted to film with that custom model because I had an idea for that fam film I wanted to do, and even if it doesn't pan out, I still want to make the model and film with it and just try to see what I can do from there.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm eager to see how that turns out. That'll be cool.
yeah,
Well,
awesome.
I guess this marks the end.
I
It
guess
was
so.
it was nice talking to you on this fine Thursday.
I had a terrible time talking to you.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
my heart is broken
No.
and my day is ruined and my disappointment is immeasurable. I think I got that backwards. But I guess that hereby ends
I
our
guess that's
first Imperial transmission.
our first episode. Wait, before you go, let me know if you can hear this. I'm gonna
Okay.
try.
Move the ship out of the asteroid field so that we can send a clear transmission.
Did you hear anything?
If you did something, I could not hear it.
Shit. Oh, it
Did
was
you play it on your computer?
yeah, it was Darth Vader. Darth Vader basically saying, "Move the ship out of the asteroid field so we can send a clear transmission." But what?
Well,
Yeah,
I think you here. I'm granting you permission to share your screen and audio through Zoom.
I don't know how I agreed. How do I agree to that?
Oh, you don't need to. You just go to the Zoom window and click the green button that says share screen.
Okay.
Did you do that?
Yeah, I don't know which one I click on.
Just screen. Just the one that says screen.
Like screen 1?
Yeah. And
Move
I
the ship
think
out of the asteroid
if you go
field
up
so
to
that we can send a clear
the
transmission.
options, you can click on share audio.
Oh. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Blue dabba dee dabba die.
Okay, I gotta stop. You've seen too much. He's seen too much. He's seen too much.
I'll do it. It's just Darth Vader breathing.
Yeah, no, it was just the line, and I wanted to have that line, basically be